Welcome to the Sales Lab. I start watching people, on the news or, people who have lots to say and thinking, does this sound like somebody who's curious or just utterly convinced of, like you can start to, play with this a little bit in real time just by observing people, you can tell when somebody's interested, really interested. Not interested because the book said I had to act interested,
Well, and so you hit on something that I just love. So I'm late to the game, but I've been watching Ted Lasso. And my favorite scene in Ted Lasso is him playing a game of darts. It's a long story, but he says, he's talking about, he quotes Walt Whitman and he says, be curious, not judgmental. And then, and he said, I like that. And then he starts walking through what it looks like to be curious and what it looks like to be judgmental. And interestingly enough, as I watched that scene, I thought about the very same things you just described. We are in a society where very few people are curious. They're definitely not curious to hear other people's opinions that don't agree with theirs. And so it is a unique ability in the generation and the day and age that we live in. But to your point, I do think that in any instance, whether it's a friend, whether it's somebody you met in the coffee shop, or whether it's a customer, people can sense authentic curiosity versus manufactured curiosity, right? And so it's something that you have to really train yourself to be able to. That's kind of why I hit on humility earlier. Is if you think like, I'll make fun of myself real quick. Is my boss, who's still, like I said, my first boss hired me, still a mentor. I was a year into the role, and he said to me, Luke, when your competence catches up with your confidence, you're going to be really dangerous. And I smiled and got 2 steps away. And I'm like, wait a second. and so while I hit on humility is I think it's important. Like it's important to work really hard, but you've earned nothing. Right. And the ability to be curious, the ability to have humility, I think naturally creates a curiosity. Because pride and arrogance creates a judgment because you already have all the answers. And I think that it is just magnified where other people can sense that very easily. Whether the person themselves have enough self-awareness to realize it or not, others sense it. And it's usually the people that people are avoiding those sales engineers, and they're avoiding those type of people because it's like, it's uncomfortable. There's no good use for them. They're not going to, it's just, the list goes on of the very different dynamic that exists.